Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome to another episode of ChäoS Head. I am recording this a bit later than I initially planned to do so, and so it might be a bit late depending on how long it takes to render out and upload, but we'll see. Go ahead and start my timer, load up the proper save. And let's see. The world is full of fiction. Furthermore, it seemed like everyone's ill will was directed at me.
いつもあなたが使っているチャットルームへログインして自分で調べてみてください。私の言っていることが間違っていないってわかるはずです。それと、私が言ったことは全部本心です。これだけは信じて。
After laying out her incomprehensible opinion, Yua tacked on that one last part and vanished from before me. Like hell I could believe her. You've got some nerve to say believe me after deceiving me. No matter what, I didn't want to acknowledge my everything, which Yua had thrusted at me. I wanted to think that her calling me Shogun had merely been idle words of rambling. Or idle words or rambling. But when I looked into the chat's backlog, I saw that she wasn't wrong about the timestamps not matching.
僕は無遊病なの。
You guys are gonna have to search for what a sleepwalker is yourself, although honestly, for the most part, I believe many of you will already know what a sleepwalker is, and the word itself is kind of self-explanatory as well. I hadn't been sleeping when Shogun posted his parts of the chat. It was an uncontrivable... What? Incontrovertible, I guess? Whatever, I don't know. It's a word I honestly can't say I've ever really seen. A fact that I had gone to at cafe at the time, but I hadn't fallen asleep, so I couldn't be a sleepwalker. But what did it mean that I don't have any memory of posting as Shogun? Alternatively, someone other than myself could control my body. Ridiculous. To prevent myself from getting even more stressed, I escaped from reality to another fictional world, Ensu. Everything about Ensu was a lie, because when you got down to it, it was a world and a game. But in Basilund, I could become Nightheart, an existence practically on the same level as God. I could accept this kind of lie, this kind of fabrication. I wanted to stay here, I thought. What's wrong with that? Or maybe Ensu itself was the real thing, and this world was fake, perhaps a game, for instance. Maybe Nishijo Takumi was the fictional existence, and Nightheart was my true self.
ねえ、ナイトハルト。
I called the paladin in the center of my monitor. Am I controlling you, or are you controlling me? Which is it? Are you real, and am I the avatar? What if the world I was in right now was a game? That would explain everything. If, in the same way that I was watching the Nightheart inside my monitor, if I too were being watched by someone, that person would have to be the player controlling me. If so, I'd like him to play my role better, but an avatar can't voice complaints. It would make sense if Shogun and I were the same person. Come to think of it, Liselet was in a similar situation. It was impossible for Nightheart and Liselet to ever exist in Basilund at the same time, because they had only one player, me. Now that's not true. You could technically speaking multi-box if you really wanted to. If anything, they would just have to be on separate accounts for you to be able to actually do that, but beyond that, it should be theoretically possible. Maybe in a similar manner, Nishijo Takumi and Shogun couldn't exist in this world at the same time. One could also contemplate the possibility that it was a bug. Speaking of bugs, my running into weird girls and murder cases might have been due to a bug as well. The image Shogun had set me flickered across my mind, and I held my head. I shook it despairingly from side to side. I want to run away from everything. If there's really a player out there controlling me, I'm begging you, please reset me. And rebuild me once more from scratch. Okay. Game. There we go. It was a very long transition. The university hospital... Okay, is there anything that I somehow missed? No, okay, good. The university's hospital's waiting room was packed with old people waiting their turn to be seen by a doctor. Nothing more than his tableau, I guess? I don't know. Had changed from several years ago. It was enough to make me think that time had stopped. Worse, the air was stagnant, as befitted the stench of disinfections, and everyone had dark looks on their faces. Try to spend 5 minutes in a place like this, and you'd get depressed enough you want to die. I don't like hospitals. I don't think many people do. Since I was little, I had been terrified of how there are hardly ever any traces of a human presence in the hallways beyond the lobby, though there tends to be lots of people in the lobby itself. It was almost as though the scent of death lurked in those hallways. I thought this itself was the hospital's true face, and that things far more horrifying and eerie were hidden at the ends of the corridors. That was why I hadn't really wanted to come here, but there was something I needed to verify no matter what, and so, unable to avoid visiting, I intently waited for my turn. Even after I entered Ensu, the words Yua had left with me spun around and around in my head, making it impossible for me to concentrate. As a result, I worried about this and that all the time until the morning, and became seriously scared that something about me might be abnormal. By coming to the hospital like this, I hoped a doctor would give me their official guarantee that Nishijo Takumi is perfectly normal. I wanted proof that Yua, not I, was the one with the issues. I was used to coming to the hospital's psych ward, although I unthinkingly nodded when the young lady at the desk asked me if it were my first time being examined here. Ever since the aforementioned bus accident, my mother had brought me here at regular intervals. When I entered middle school, the doctor responsible for me diagnosed me as being completely cured, and because I stopped going here, it had been about 4 years since my last visit. My initial doctor... Red. Why not? My initial doctor was Professor Moruku, I guess? Said to be highly influential in his field, but after only a few visits, he switched with one of his pupils. Though called a pupil, he wasn't very young. If anything, he looked older than expected. What's with the dude in the black suit and sunglasses in the background? Last night, I had suddenly recalled that Dr. Takashina's words.
ここは病気や怪我だけじゃなくて心にも効く病院なんだよ。
I hated the hospital, but he was very kind to me, and I had the impression that he was a good person. Even though I had utterly succeeded in deceiving all the adults around me to the very end, Dr. Takashina was the one who saw through me and declared me fully healed.
あの人に調べてもらえれば。
What would he say if he knew I'd turned into a gross otaku? No, it's been too long. He must have forgotten who I was in the first place. I was soon called to the examination room. So much for my thinking I'd have to wait a really long time. Why had there been so many people in the lobby? It'd be quite a twist if they were being paid to sit around there and make the hospital seem popular. That would be an interesting twist. It was a different room from 4 years earlier. When I entered, a familiar face was there to greet me.
やあ、西条くん。
Dr. Takashina grinned at me. He hadn't changed a bit from 4 years ago. Relieved to see that, I immediately poured my heart out.
先生、助けて。
どうしたんだい？
変な女が僕にストーカー行為を。
I'm afraid a doctor can't really help you with a stalker.
このままじゃ学校にも行けないし、家にも一度来られてて場所知られてるから安心できないし。
落ち着いて。
落ち着いてなんていられないよ。
Well, you're gonna have to calm down and explain.
あの女異常だ。僕は正常なんだ。それに岩だけじゃない。悪魔女だって。
You see, saying the term demon girl would probably cause pretty much any doctor to think you are an insane individual that needs to be taken to a mental hospital.
そうだ、悪魔女が真犯人なんだ。
真犯人？
ニュージェネの犯人だよ。間違いないんだ。僕は事件現場で死体を貼り付けにしてる最中のあの女を見たんだ。
大丈夫だ。何も心配いらないから。
Says every doctor ever when they have a patient who deserves to be in a mental hospital.
とにかく落ち着こう。いいね。
Feeling rebuked, I closed my mouth. I had no idea what was supposed to make things all right. But since a professional doctor, and Dr. Takashina to boot, was telling me so, it had to be okay. That was what I convinced myself. Because I had grown agitated, it hurt to breathe. I got my breathing together. Dr. Takashina watched me steadily all the while. He seemed frightfully grave.
本当に大丈夫なの？
もちろんだよ。
あんな危ない女が僕を、狙ってるのに。
But is she really?
なんでそう言い切れるの？
理由を知りたいかい？
I nodded, and the doctor shrugged his shoulders a bit. He kept unconsciously twirling the pen in his hand atop his fingers.
なぜなら、君の言っている女の人はこの世には存在しないからだよ。
Dun dun dun.
でも
君は自分の妄想に怯えているだけなんだ。
His voice was eerily gentle. My body began shaking. It wouldn't stop. Why? He was so kind, and yet...
西条くん、君はその女の人には会っていない。わかるね？
わからないよ。
じゃあもっと具体的に言おうか。君はその女の人には会えるはずがないんだ。もう7年間も君はこの病院から一歩も外に出ていないんだからね。
What did he mean? Doctor, what are you...
君はこの病院の精神科に7年間入院している。そのことはわかるだろう？
Damn it.
君はこの病院の精神科に 7年間入院している。そのことはわかるだろう？
I glanced down at my clothing. Today I should have been wearing a Barachu t-shirt with Sarah on it, and long-sleeved denim jacket on top, and the only pair of jeans I owned on bottom. But now, for some reason, I was wearing hospital garments. A faint yellow-green piece of clothing shaped like a dress. It was plainly made, tied together in front with a string. I wasn't wearing pants underneath. When had I changed clothes?
ここは閉鎖病棟だからお見舞いの人も来ない。入院患者さんも男女で別フロアに分けられていて行き来はできない。精神科の看護師は全員男だし。
All of them?
君の病室は完全に個室。窓もない。
Is it at least padded?
つまり、君は7年間、女性と接触したことがないんだ。君、思い出したかな？
Damn it, when I think they're finished, I go ahead and click, and it turns out they're not finished. It's a lie. It had to be a lie. I haven't been hospitalized. I live on my own in Shibuya, and I'm top class. Fairly well-known player, and I'm a top-class, fairly well-known player in Ensu, and I follow my minimum attendance shift chart, going to school 2 to 3 times a week. And earlier, the nurse at the front desk had asked me about it. It isn't your first time here. Yes, then please fill out this piece of paper with the necessary information while you wait.
嘘に決まってる。
本当にそう思うのかい？
Dr. Takashina murmured as he wrote something down on his clipboard. I couldn't read what he was writing. It wasn't Japanese. English? No. German?
だとしたら、君の精神はまだ異常だっていうことだよ。もうしばらくは入院が必要だね。
He took a single brief glance at me. His eyes were brimming with pity. He had never looked at me like that, not even once in the past. I weakly fell to my knees. Tears flowed out of me. Ah, I see, that's right. All of my memories up until now had been mere delusions. I was the abnormal one. I was the one going weird in the head. What a horrible twist. But, well, I didn't care anymore. Even if they turned out to be an illusion, they weren't memories I had any desire to cling to. Anyway, couldn't I just recreate them from the start? This time around, it'd be nice to have a world without any scary incidents. I'd have a sociable personality and excellent grades. I'd be popular with girls. All my friends would be beauties in the level of Gravaire idols, and all of them would have crushes on me. I imagined myself living under the same roof as them, and thus our fun, bittersweet, and just a little comedic everyday lives would begin. Oh, that laugh. I need a soundbite of that laugh, I really do. I attempted to force myself to laugh. Actually, you know what? I am going to soundbite that laugh right now. Configuration screen, audio, music, off, exit. Okay, there we go. Now I have that so that I can make a soundbite of it. Just, you know, for the hell of it. Maybe I'll use it at some point. Just 'cause. My face was twitching. I didn't want to die. Okay, I think this is a nice place to cut this off, personally. Yeah, timer's got 5 seconds left on it. We just did what is, generally speaking, the game's sort of version of a transition between, I guess, like, sections. So I think this is a decent place to cut it off. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. Let's go ahead and save. Right there. And as always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, goodbye and farewell.